I like that.
Welcome to Mobile Agent TV. I am Michael Thorne of Remax Little Oak Realty in Langley, BC. And our co-host out in the sun is Dave Falkware from Bridgewater, New Jersey's Remax Preferred Professionals in the Enviro Realty team. Dave, Friday the 13th and a full moon. Superstitious guy. You've already answered this on the show, I think. I don't think you are a superstitious guy.
Not at all. Nope. Doesn't matter to me. I'm actually sitting out here in the sun, and it's really, you know, we had that thing before. Where the cleaning lady shows up in the house every other week, right in the middle of the show, and so it's a little bit of a distraction when she turns on the vacuum cleaner because she don't care that I'm doing what I'm doing.
No.
So I came outside right at the head of time. I'm outside here on the back porch, and it's nice. Oh, look at this! What we got over there?
There's I mean, we haven't even introduced our guest yet, and there's already distraction of a puppy on the show.
That's all right. I'll show you my monster later.
During the broadcast, you can interact with us live using the hashtag MATVLive, and you can get us on Twitter at Mobile Agent TV. I will keep an eye on that throughout the show. Oh, man, I'm glad I say that. And we also have the Q&A feature enabled on the show right now, so if you have any questions, you can ask them right there on the blog or on our Google Plus page. And you can vote them up and vote them down, and we'll make sure we get to your questions. We've got like 3 great announcements to make right now, including today's guest, because there's been a lot of buzz about today's guest, but we got 2 other nice announcements to make prior to getting to today's guest. We are going to do a live show this Tuesday, which is June the 17th, right after the ARIA convention or conference here in Vancouver. It's going to be 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern. Raj Kazar sent me an email the other day. He says, "Hey, Mike, after the event during the cocktail party, let's do a live show." And I said, "Absolutely, let's do that." So Terry Conrad will be there, and Tony Joe. We are just getting the final approval from the ARIA conference to make sure we can do it right from the cocktail party. If we can't, we will bring you the show from somewhere. But that'll be Tuesday, 17th, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern. And if you are in the Vancouver area, there's still tickets available. You can go to ariavancouver.com, AREAA Vancouver.com. It's going to be a lot of talking about tech and engaging the Asian market for sure too as well. As I'm super excited to announce that next week's guest is Nathan Dart from Remax in Maryland. He is a fantastic speaker. He's a fantastic guy. The average inter-industry of converting internet leads is around 1%. Nathan and his team converts at 22%, and he's going to come on the show, and he's going to let us know point by point how he's going about converting these leads that a lot of us throw away into a very, very successful business. So that'll be next week. But that brings us to today's guest. I'm super excited to introduce today's guest, Mary Roy. And as always, we read out our guest 160 Twitter bio. You can get Mary Roy and her team on Twitter at Mary Roy Team. And her bio reads, "Mary Roy and team selling real estate in the Durham region since 1987. Welcome to the show, Mary." Oh, she walks away. She walks away. She show's over.
Show's over. No, it's the dog. It's the dog, right?
Welcome to the show, Mary.
Thank you. Sorry, I was getting rid of my puppy because she's going to start barking, and I didn't want her barking. Sorry.
No problem. Now, for the people watching the show, where is the Durham region? I know that you are in Ontario, but where is the Durham region, Mary?
It's I'm in Ajax, and I work the market of Pickering, Ajax, Whitby, Oshawa, Bowmanville. That's basically, and then you have Port Perry. That's the Durham region.
Okay, so out nearest Toronto for everyone watching in the States. That's probably close enough for a lot of you. Mary, give us your history in real estate and where you are now with your team, because you didn't start out this way. You started out as a solo agent, as all of us did, and we want to talk about how you've gone about building a very, very successful teams and some of the pitfalls and opportunities that present themselves for other agents. So take us through your journey of how you started in real estate and where you are today.
Okay, I've been in the business over 27 years, and I've been with Remax 20 years. I can't believe it's that long. I started on my own, but as soon as I started selling around 40 homes a year, I hired an assistant. So I always had someone to do my letters, my paperwork, because I'm no good at writing and I hate it. So I figured I had to hire someone to do all the things I didn't like. Then I was a broker owner for 8.5 years. So I owned 2 RE/MAX offices. And then I was like selling over 100 homes a year, recruiting, managing, being a broker owner, and I decided it was way too much, and I picked what I love to do best, and is be out with the clients. I don't like managing too much. I love mentoring and watching people grow, but managing the business wasn't my forte. That's not what I really enjoyed. So I decided to go into just selling and have a team. We have a team of 9 people. I've had a team as big as 16 agents. I have a little, like, it's almost like we're a family. We're a little unique. It's like a little boutique type of style. I always had a team, even though I was a broker owner. But we're all like, I have like buyer agents. I have an agent in the office that does all the follow-up because I don't have enough time to do that. And then I have 2 other agents that are on the road. They're fairly new, and they're showing homes and selling homes. But I have 2 that can list with me as well.
And so, Mary, in that, it's funny. That's a similar journey to Dave, not similar journey to Dave, but it used to be a broker, and it was way more fun to be an agent. And that's where that's Dave. You did the same thing. You said, "This is not for me. I'd rather go out and be with buyers and sellers."
Well, yeah, and Mary will tell you this: being a broker owner, no offense to the broker owners, like herding cats. It's a tough job. They have the toughest job in our organization, broker owners. But like Mary said, selling out.
Well, when you're a broker.
Go ahead, Mary.
No, I was just going to say, being a broker owner is not an easy job. I loved it. I started an office with 1 agent and me and a secretary. We were in a little town surrounded by RE/MAX offices within like 10 minutes of our office. And I went from 2 agents to 38 agents, and they were all making over 100,000. Like, whatever I do, I like to do 150%, and I loved it. But where I really shine is on the road helping folks. And I guess where I shone as a business owner was helping the agents grow and achieve great things. But it is a thankless job being a broker owner. For all the agents that are listening out there, be easy on your broker. They have a tough job. It's not an easy job.
Good advice. Mary, why being, okay, let's get into a couple of questions. Why a team, and why be the team leader? I mean, for the people that are watching right now that might have an assistant, might be thinking about hiring an assistant, might have these visions of being on a team. Why be a team leader? What's the why?
Well, the why I'm the team leader, I have the knowledge, the skills from 27 years of experience, right? And there are certain things I don't enjoy doing. I don't enjoy doing the letters and the paperwork and all that stuff. And my time is not being spent efficient doing those things because I take way too long and I'd be no good at it. So I think everyone that is serious about selling real estate, they should have at least 1 assistant working with them. Whether it's 2 days a week, 3 days a week, whatever it is, start 2 days a week for 3 hours a day and have that person do all your mailings, all your organizing things for you that you want to do, like prepare your list of people you want to call, your anniversary, your closings, all that stuff. Because your value as an agent, if you're really good at what you do, is worth way more than that. And that's not what you shine at. So get on the phone. So when you get up in the morning, and that's what I always do, like my girls know I just go to my calendar and check my day. What am I doing today? I usually do it the day before because I like to prepare myself mentally. But that's what those people do. And I promise you, anyone that's selling, like when I go to our seminars, I hear people say, I sell 60 houses on my own. I don't have an assistant. Don't do that. Hire someone to do all your letters. And instead of you selling 60 homes, you're going to sell 120 homes. And it's going to be way easier to do it because that person is handling all the things you don't have time for. And you also become a lot more efficient. And your give way better service to your clients for doing it. And then showing homes, I don't show homes anymore, only to like real special, like clients that they want me, or friends or family or old clients that I've sold 5-6 homes to. I still love it. I love showing homes. I went last week, I'm going to sell a house. I showed 5 houses. I knew 2 of the homes I showed they were going to love, and they're going to buy one. But they're on duty. They wait for the leads, of course, and the buyers, so I'm not going to be competing with my team. That's the benefit of being a part of the team. And then they also have to work and bring in business to help us grow, right? It should always be a win and give for both parties, the team leader and the agent working in your team.
And which leads me right to my next question, Mary. What's the advantage of being on a team? Not the team leader, but what is the advantage to an agent, either new or experienced, of being a part of a team?
It's a great advantage being a part of a team. I have agents calling me many times through the week. They want to join my team, but I'm getting older and I really don't want to start training and doing all the stuff I've done for all the years. And I truly appreciate them calling me, because that's an honor. That's really nice to have that. But one of the questions they ask me is exactly what you say. So what are the benefits of me working in a team? And I say, number one, you want to pick a great team leader, because you want to learn from that team leader. So you're going to learn stuff that's so, like, it would take you years to achieve, and many mistakes and errors. So that team leader already did all those mistakes, already learned all those lessons. So they're going to set you up where you're going to go forward. You also don't have expenses. Like, we're the ones that are responsible to pay for all the advertising, the office space, all those things. And that adds to a lot of money. And when you're a new agent starting in the business, if I was going to start right now, I would definitely start with a great team, work for a team. I wouldn't want to start the business on my own. So, and if you're great, like if you're the type of person that you're going to pay every price you have to pay to achieve what you want to achieve and becoming a great team leader, then go for it. Create your own team. Make a difference in our industry. Like, I'm so proud of the professionals in our industry. So I'm all for it, for new people to start and become team leaders, especially young people. They're so smart. Like us, we learn to achieve great things in life by working hard. They do it by being smart, working smart.
Dave, your insights on what Mary just said.
Yeah, no, Mary, you and I met at Strategic Peak Performance Coaching Seminar that Peter Muller, Mary was kind enough to come down with him here to New Jersey, and a bunch of agents here that were interested in learning how to create and build a profitable team. Part of the structure that he talked about was the budgeting part, the not sexy part of being forming a team. It's just, could you talk a little bit about the importance of when you're going to start a team, or what you think the first step should be? Like, just to say, our audience, we have a bunch of agents sitting out here. They're doing their 40 or 50 deals. They're listening to us. They may or may not have an assistant. But right after they get that assistant, what's the first thing that they should be doing?
Well, I'll share what I do, and hopefully that will help other agents. You have to have a business plan. You've got to have a vision to work towards, and a dream, what it is you want to achieve as a team. So you need to know, okay, I'm going to sell 60 homes a year. And what is your average commission, so you know what income you're going to bring? You also need to know how much is it going to cost. So if you're going to hire an assistant, you want to hire someone that's good. So you don't want to pay them $8 an hour. It's going to be at least anywhere from $12 to $16 an hour, up to $18 if you want someone that's going to do a half-decent job. The more you pay for what you get, right? So the more, so you want to know, okay, I'm going to make $100,000. It's going to cost me $20,000 for my assistant, and then it's going to cost me another $20,000 for advertising and marketing. You really want to understand that. You want to monitor that every month so you know where you are. So what we do is, like, what I spend, I don't even want to tell you, because I'd scare anybody that's thinking about creating a team. but you need to know that the money that's going out, there's more coming in. There's enough to pay your expenses, your tax man, and for you to have a nice living and make sure everybody's taken care of that's working for you. So you're right. You definitely need to have a business plan. I have a very detailed business plan. Like all our team members, even our secretaries, they have to create a business plan. Because it's not just about the business, it's about their personal life. Like our business plan, you touch what are your weaknesses, your strengths, what are your dreams, what do you want to achieve in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And it's so cool because when we meet every 3 months, and then the agents go, wow, I achieved this, wow, I achieved that. So there's nothing more wonderful than looking at what you wrote down and achieving it and creating it and making it a reality.
Yeah, we've said on the show a lot of times, I've said it, is if you can't measure it, don't do it. And I sort of knew why that was, but I picked up a couple of good quotes at that thing, and one of them was, about knowing your numbers, and what you measure gets improved. So if you're looking at your numbers, you know how to improve on them. And the fact that we've talked about it here on the show, and a lot of times also, it's a business. It's not about, oh, I think I'll just show a few pretty houses on the weekend. Oh, I like to show houses. It's a business, and if you treat it like a business, you're going to be rewarded in kind. So, I mean, you said that a business plan is one of the first things a successful business does.
Sorry, Mary. I just want to add, because we're going to have a lot of agents watching the show that perhaps aren't on a team already or aren't have visions of starting a team tomorrow. On a team or not, get your business plan. Go sit down with someone that's doing like. People always say to me, well, what's the back end like at RE/MAX? Now that I've come to RE/MAX. You can't become RE/MAX, McDonald's, Nike without having a plan. It just didn't happen by accident. So find someone in your local market who's doing really well and tell them how they go about building a business plan. Whether you're a solo agent or not, you need to have a business plan. You need to have some sort of a roadmap. It's like showing homes and just driving around hoping that you're going to get there. It's ridiculous. So on that note, whether you're a team or not, go out and get a business plan done.
Yeah, if you're not a team, you're so right. You have to have a business plan. You also got to measure everything you do. Like I went on a whole bunch of listing appointments, and this week I lost 3 appointments because of our fee, and that ticked me off. And I know it's my fault. It's no one's fault. It's my fault. So what I did is I came in and I said to my girls, okay, this is where I went wrong. This is what I didn't touch. So here's what we need to do. We have a presentation book that shows exactly our services. So I've been measuring my success. So it's like if you lose 3 listings in 1 week, that's bad. So I got to change my attitude, and I have to really spend the time and show them what we do. But because I do so much of it, I don't have the patience. It's like, oh, forget it. I don't want to do it. So yes, measure everything you do when you talk to people, how your feedback was, how many appointments do you need to, show a home to sell a house, how many listing appointments do you do, how many do you, it's everything. It's not just your accounting. It's everything you do every single day.
Mary, a lot of the stats will say that once you hit about 40 or 50 deals a year, the experts say that that's when you sort of need to hire an assistant. I think it's probably even, depending on where you are, your price point in your market, I think it's probably even lower than that. You start not being able to deliver first-class service. When do you know that it's time to add a piece? And I'm assuming the first piece people should be adding is not necessarily a buyer's agent, but an assistant. I think you said that a couple times. So when do you know you need an assistant?
To be honest with you, if I was starting out and I was serious about my career in real estate, I'd hire an assistant right away, even if it's 3 hours a day for 1 day a week. But it's a lot of agents, they hire assistants, but they have no clue. It goes back to planning again. Okay, so what do I tell my assistant to do every day? You have to create that list the night before. So when your girl comes in once a week, she knows exactly what it is that she has to do. And you have to make sure that you have enough work there, only the things you really need help with. And I promise you, instead of you selling one house, like I'll use an example why you need her. So when she comes in the morning, the first thing she should do is she should pull all the calls, all the people you're going to call that week. She should have a list of all the people you talked to and you saw and what letters need to go out. Those letters should be all done and then given to you, so you sign them all, you send them off. What is it that we need? Like I don't know if you're going to do farming, do you need flyers done? That's the kind of thing you need to do. And if you do that, I have agents that are brand new and they come to my office and ask for my help. And there's one agent that I know, he just started in the business. He already went like on a whole bunch of listing appointments. And he goes, Barry, I have no money. Like, how am I going to hire someone? And I told him, I said, you know what? Hire this person 3 hours, 1 time a week. And then he called me and he goes, wow, Mary, I can't believe how much it's helped me. So I believe you should hire someone right away. That's my belief, because unless you're really organized and you were a secretary and you enjoy doing all those things, that's different.
But even then, Mary, I would contend, I've heard it, the NRP, non-revenue producing things, even though somebody may say, gee, I love designing my brochures and putting them together, and I love creating my letter. Unlike, I know you say you don't like to do that. I don't like to do it either. And those are things that are not going to directly make you any money. And so even if you really love to do them, my contention is delegate it to your assistant and let them do that. You go out and meet the people, put them in the car, show them the properties, go on the listing appointments in the beginning of your career.
Well, it's like this morning I signed like 20 follow-up letters. I think there was 15 anniversary letters. I would have it's all done on our system, right? I just signed, and then all the follow-up letters had comparables already pulled in the immediate area. I didn't do any of that. I just signed them. And that's the kind of thing that really saves you a lot of time. They see your name, they call you.
The other key thing there, what you said was delegate.
Oh yeah, delegate. I was horrible. I used to work till 3, 4 in the morning, and I was selling 130 homes with one assistant, and it was crazy, totally crazy. So trust me, I've learned everything there is to learn by lessons.
I think the delegating issue is a result of the type of personality that the real estate industry attracts, though. I think we have that personality that no, I need to do it so that I know it's done right. But I think there's an advantage, what you just said, Mary, about having an assistant. I think the motivation of knowing there's another mouth to feed or there's a responsibility is probably a pretty good constant motivator. Just a little story. When I first got in the business, I was 19 years old. I struggled the first couple of years, and then I started getting I started making a good living, but then my numbers sort of slumped off, and my broker called me into the office, and he asked me like why my numbers were slumped off, and I said, I'm 22 years old. I'm making a decent living. My car's paid for. I've got no real expenses. I'm living with a couple buddies. He says, he says, I want you to buy a house this week. So I said, what? He says, I want you.
Why broker had there? Keep him hungry.
He says. So I went out and I bought a house that week at 22 years old, and I tell you, I've never stopped. It's the best motivator in the world is a mortgage payment or an assistant of some kind. So on that note, Mary, you gave us some advice to saying don't undercut or don't look for the cheap way out for an assistant. I mean, I'm imagining throughout North America, the cost to get decent talent might shift. It might be $16 where you are. It might be $22 where I am. That being said, just being willing to cut an hourly check that's higher doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get good talent. How do you go about identifying somebody? And let's say you start off 1 or 2 days a week, and the hopes is to take that person and make it 3 days and 4 days and 5 days and roll that person into a very integral part of your team. How do you go about making sure you're making the right hire? Because I could imagine if you go out and make the wrong hire, it doesn't work, your attitude will be, forget this, I'm not doing this, I'm going back to the way it was, and I won't get an assistant. So advice on making sure that you're identifying someone that's actually going to contribute to your team more over and above just paying a really smart hourly wage.
Well, the first thing, like, what I do is we interview, well, my girls interview, let's say, like 5, 6 girls, and then I only meet 2 or 3, like the ones that we feel has the skills that we need. But what I suggest you would do, because that's what I did when I first hired an assistant, and I've hired many assistants because I liked them, they were my friends, they were clients or whatever. Please don't do that. Make a list of your weaknesses. So if you don't like doing letters, if you're not great at, like if you're not creative, like whatever it is, make a list of all the things you're going to need help in making you a better agent out there, like all the social media, all that stuff. Make a list of all the things you need, and then have that person, like, look for those skills in that person that you're hiring. Have them come in, ask them. If you Google, there's all kinds of things you can search and look what questions to ask. And when you ask about 10 questions to someone, you'll know right away. The other thing I do, because it's really important to me that they enjoy marketing and that they are creative, is I say, okay, here's a home. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go home. Only the ones that I think they'd be great for us. I want you to go home and create me a real cool feature sheet or a real cool write-up on this house. Here are the pictures. What do you think? And you'll be amazed. That's how I fired a lot of people, even students. Students are great to hire, actually, because they want to learn, they want to create, and they're so creative and so smart. So you have them create something, create a portfolio for you about your team, you. This is what you're going to look out there, and you'll know that's the person you want to hire.
Mary, do you use the assessment that Peter, the color assessment that Peter introduced to everybody at this seminar? You use that at all?
I do. I use the color. When they come in, I do. I know, like, I can tell right away what type of person. Actually, that's a really good point. You want to hire someone that they also fit your clientele and your personality, because that's really important. Because if you're kind and friendly and soft and you're going to hire someone that's like totally out there, abrupt, and that's no good, because your clients are used to that type of kindness and way of talking and all that stuff. You want them to be a bit like you, but not just like you either, because then you just have two people that are exactly the same.
Like what I was talking about, for those of you that kind of didn't want this color thing, there's different assessments that are available. You can either buy them or get them from a coaching company. There's the Berkman. Again, they're just regular personality assessments. Amazing. They ask you 10, 15 questions, and then they tell you exactly everything about your whole life. Kind of actually mind-blowing. But there's only 4 kinds of people. So to Mary's point, if you can find some way to do an assessment before you hire them, and then if you're not a good people figure-outer, you just can't figure out their personality, you have to have a good fit.
And gold are the ones that are great because they pay attention to detail. They are very kind, very patient, and that's what you need. Like, I need someone to work with me that has tons of patience, because I'm going at 100 miles an hour all the time. So that person has to chill me down and calm me down and allow me to have time to think. So yeah, gold. The gold are the good ones.
Yeah, I'm a green and I'm married to a gold. I mean, that's the whole point of a marriage. I mean, they're the opposites. I mean, you're trying to fill the holes where you're weak at, right? I mean, so that's the question I was going to ask you, Mary, and you've almost already answered it in a lot of different ways. But how do you know, like, what do you delegate? I guess the issue is delegating the things that you're not good at. So if you are really good at that social, or if you're really good at the creative, so, I mean, for a lot of people it's different, but when you're first assistant, you're just talking about making sure nothing falls through the cracks and putting that system together. So how do you identify, I mean, you've already said it, but reiterate it, what do you delegate? What do you get off your plate first so you can go and make your money?
Well, when you get in the business, you're going to be an agent, and that's what you do. Being an agent is not taking care of the social media or doing your paperwork. If you're a really well-organized person and you're great at that, then train your assistant to be great at it. So come in the morning and say, okay, this is how I want things done. This is how I like it done. But you as an agent, your time should be spent sending notes to people, calling people, doing offers, being in front of people. That's what you should be doing as an agent. All other stuff you should delegate. So I'll use an example how my day goes, and everybody's going to be different. When I come in the morning, my girls meet with me, and they have all the messages from the previous day. The reason I like doing that is because I am on appointments, I forget. So they'll go, okay, Mary, who is this person? I'll say, okay, that person wanted a listing appointment, and he called. So when did you book the listing? I booked it for next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So they put it in my schedule. They prepare my CMA. They have all that stuff done for me. I don't need to worry about that person anymore. If it was a seller and there was an issue with it, like yesterday we had a seller called because the photos didn't look right, whatever. So I called them. So I said, please look into the photos. I want to see after you fix it. I want to look at it. That's taken care of. And then they say, okay, Mary, you have 2 CMAs coming up. You're doing the Ajax Home Week on Sunday. Monday, you're doing your coaching call. So that way I'm all prepared. And then they're working on preparing our event. Have everything ready. All I do is show up. They help me bring all the stuff there. I don't worry about anything. They're doing the door prizes. They're doing all that stuff. That's what we're working on right now. But what that assistant should be doing is doing your follow-up letters. You should have like if you have email contacts, social media stuff, have them do something nice, like something different. As an example, someone called me yesterday. It was an older lady. She's in her 80s. She hasn't sold her house in 30-something years. She was so scared and all that stuff. So what we did is, because I was running around, our girls went and they took a copy of all the listings, our pre-list package, and they went and spent half an hour with her, which was my daughter that did it. She's amazing. She was a nurse. And the little old lady was just like so grateful and so thankful. But you can't do that. So you should have an assistant that has that heart, I guess, that will even do it without you even thinking about it. I didn't even know they had done it. They did it on their own. So those are the little things. But I guess it's hard for me to think back when I was like brand new. I did that. My girls would just do my letters, organize my day. They would make calls for me. If I had like 10 calls to do and I was busy on appointments and I couldn't do them, they would make the calls, touch base with them and say, you know what, Mary's on the road all day. She didn't forget you. Just want to let you know that we've done this. This is what's happening. Because that's what people want, especially today. Everything is so fast. I don't know. I hope that helps. But it's
it seems like from me, the takeaway that I take from that is amazing communication between you and them, and then the client. I mean, it's just talking about keeping the pipelines of communication for everybody, just making sure those are always flowing. And I think that's a really good takeaway for people that have a good client experience. It is about communication. You know, if my waiter comes by and says, "Sorry guys, your meal's would come," just the fact that I got updated, then I'm not upset about it as much anymore. So I think communication is a very, very important key, and post-client care and all that sort of stuff. Dave, as far as you do, I mean, you've got a little bit of a different system, but where do you find the other pieces playing into filling in strengths and weaknesses for you and Vanessa?
Well, that brings to mind what we're about to do. We talked about this last week a little bit. We're desperately looking for an assistant. Vanessa and I have 2 buyer listing agents that work on the team with us. I do most of the admin work. I'm pretty good at it, but they're not revenue producing. Me sitting there doing it. I can hire somebody to do this stuff, because there's a whole bunch of ideas and things that I want to do, and I'm anxious to do them, but I just can't. At the end of the day, I've done all of the admin stuff. So I mean, we understand the importance of all of that. And that customer experience, and so far, it hasn't broken down for us, our customer experience and the value we bring to them, but it's about to, because we're very, very, very busy, and we need to delegate some of that stuff. And the whole thing that I went to with Mary kind of really put it to the top of my. I knew it all along. It finally hit home, yeah. And it's the next big step. And we're just struggling with finding the right person and how many hours. But I heard Mary say something that's going to kind of put me right on the track, and that's it. I'm just going to go do a profile, find the right person. I'm going to hire him. It wasn't really about the money. I'm going to hire him for 3 hours, 3 days a week or whatever, and let's get a start. You got to start somewhere. And I've had assistants before, but this one seems to be a struggle because we're doing a lot of business.
Another thing we do, Dave and Michael, is at the end of each day, each team member has to do a daily email, and the email goes to the whole team. So that way it's about communication. It's about us always knowing what's happening in our team. So Kristen will give a list of the listing she processed, all that stuff. Ashley will say how many appointments, because our agents also have duty days. So when they're on duty, calls will go to them. So I would know who called or whatever. So at the end of each day, I see everybody's email. As a team leader, I always reply and say, way to go, guys. Thank you so much. Great job, Ashley. Great job, Colton. Good luck with your appointments tomorrow. It's a really neat way. Even though I do them at midnight, they like it. They look forward to reading them in the morning, inspiring them. Or if they have a question, they need help, then I send them an answer or whatever. Or I make sure that in the morning I take time to meet with that team member and go over that. So that's a real good tool we've implemented that really helps.
And that's interesting, Mary, because, you know, I've met with a lot of new agents that want to get into the business, and the perception of what you do is what the perception is what brokers do, and it's not. I mean, there's not someone that's going to mentor you and hold your hand and encourage you and keep an eye on you and make sure that there are no details. And that's why I think teams become a bigger and bigger part of our industry, because it's filling that role that we all think in our gut brokers should do or be doing, but that's not what they do. They do something different. Our industry is, you know, is structured in a way that they don't have that ability to do it. But the mentorship, that constant encouragement, that constant reinforcement of here's what you do in this situation, that's invaluable for an agent starting out to learn that, you know, especially if there's some of us that are completely and utterly motivated to keep pushing forward, and there's some people that need the attaboys all the time. And so I think the advantage of being on a team, if you do need encouragement, is that you will get it, because I think there's a lot of agents out there that are just out on their own, and it's tough because they're not getting that pat on the back when they do have these small victories, and that's a good point. Mary, questions coming in for you. As a team leader and the name on the sign, do you meet with all your clients that even the agent, other team members are working with?
No, I don't. I used to, and that's when you're trying to be a control freak because you don't want to let go. So every client that called in, I would call them, say, hi, thank you so much for calling us. And I totally, you know, I strongly advise if you're just starting out, even if you have a team member, please do call them, say hello, acknowledge, you know, thank them, and talk up. Like, I'll give you an example. I have clients that they want a listing appointment. They wanted it today. And, well, I can't do it today. So I said, you know what, I'm really sorry, I can't come out and see you today, but Ashley is going to come out. And they go, but I wanted you. And I go, you know what, Ashley is young, she's been with me for years, she's awesome, she's even better than me because she has more energy, like a different vision, so you're going to have to trust me, and you're going to be so happy with Ashley. So, like, pump up your team members. Make them even better than you. Don't ever be afraid of doing that. And once you start doing 1, 2, 3, then you start pushing yourself back more because you need time to work on your business, you need time to work on your planning, and you also need time to do the important things. So if your agents go out and talk to your clients, see the clients, find out what did they list the house at, you know, what's happening with the house, what kind of people are they, what do they need, and then make a call after your listing has been in and say, hey, thank you so much, we're so glad we have your listing, we look forward to selling your home really quick, how was your appointment? And they'll say, like, they say, oh, we loved Ashley, she was awesome. I go, I told you so, she's great, right? And then they thank you. They think you're so awesome for doing that. So don't be afraid to let go. Empower your agents. Give them all the, I don't know what you call the reins, the rope, yeah, and let them go out there and shine for you.
Lindsay, I think, is Lindsay your daughter, Mary?
Yes. Lindsay Roy.
Yeah, she's great. We chatted this morning. She's just talking about how important it is that your clients are introduced to the team, or at least know the roles of all the other people on the team. So when someone else does step in, they understand that there's this big machine behind that's taking care of them. Is that really important? So them know all the your clients know all the pieces of the team.
Yeah, when I go on a listing appointment, I have like a book. I don't know if you guys can see it. And in the book, there is a picture. That's the first thing I do is introduce our team. So we have, like, I don't know if you can see it, but But anyway, I go over and I explain what every team member does, so what their roles are in the team. So when they call, because I say, you know what, I'm going to be on the road. I don't want you calling in, waiting 2 hours for me to get back to you. You ask for Kristen, you ask for Lindsay, you ask for Ornella. She'll be there to help you. I even have to give them, like, because my team is so good at policing the calls where they don't let them come to me. I say, when you call in, I know the girls are going to say, I might even be there, and they're going to say I'm not there, so just say, Mary told me to put me through, or I'll use some line, so that way they ask, and the girls go, okay, we better let her through. Yeah.
The gatekeepers. I would be remiss and to not mention this or talk about it, Mary, having you on the show. The first time I sort of heard your name when I got to RE/MAX was a buzz about your stance on commissions, and a couple people have already mentioned it. And I know it's not really on the team topic, but I know it's something that you're pretty passionate about. You have a very strong stance, and I don't think it's a topic, Dave, we've ever even talked about on the show is commissions. I don't know.
Well,
I don't think we've ever brought it.
In the States, there's some laws about having chats about that. You got to be very, very careful. So,
okay.
Probably in Canada.
So let me know. No, it's the way she runs her team, right? We're not talking about commissions. So Mary, I think for any issues in the United States and Canada, what is your stance and what is your philosophy or execution on your commissions on your commission?
Well, to me, yes, I have to be very careful how I say this, because I don't want us to get in it. It's the same here in Canada. You can't do price fix or whatever, competition law, whatever it is. A lawyer has a fee, an agent has a fee, a doctor has a fee. You have the right to choose where your fee is. I think that we give a lot. If you have value and you deliver what you promise, you should have no issues in justifying what you're worth. So when I go list a home, our fee is $6. And I know there are a lot of realtors that are charging $3.5, $4, $4.5, $5. I mean, that's whatever it is they want to do. That's their business, not mine. But for the service that we provide, and when our homes do sell for more because of all the extra things we do. And they do get trust me, I give a lot to the client to make sure that their home is staged and the photos are great. Like, I hire the best, whoever I hire. So they're getting their value, and as long as I can show that their home is selling for more than the average home and that we get the job done, then there should be no issue. And I don't talk about it. Like, if they talk about it, I just go bang, 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 and we go on to something else. And they'll say, well, I thought I'd try. You know, and I say no harm. Everybody can ask for anything they want.
Do you think in your history of, and I don't know how long that stance has been, but do you think the people that are most don't recognize the Mary Roy team's value the same way you do are ultimately in the long run going to be the people that are going to consume more effort, and therefore you're eliminating those that don't see the value in what you bring? I find that when we sit down and do buyer consultations and exclusive buyer agency and that sort of stuff, that if they don't see the value, it's almost a blessing, the fact that I think those are the ones that are actually going to be consuming a lot more of my attention and my effort. So do you think that's the same way, as if they don't see the value in what you provide, then they're going to be hard to deal with?
That's right. If they can't see the value, they're not going to pay you. Your home is the largest investment, and if you can show that there's value there, like I said, last week I lost 3. You know, but I'm not going to change my fee. I'm sorry. Like, that's what I need to do in order to sell a home and do the job that I do. And I don't want to sell real estate just to put a sign in front of someone's home and not deliver the value that I believe in. If you know what, I'm so passionate about what I do in our industry, and if I could do something, like if there's an agent out there that's listening to our show and they can't deliver their value, or they don't know how, or they need help, like, just give me a call. When you call, tell my girls Mary said that I can call, and come and see me, come and sleep over in my house. I'll share what I do. That's what I love to do. I want to make our industry where we should be. I think it's amazing what, you know, folks trust us to do, and if I can make a difference out there, that's what I love to do.
all in the presentation, Mary, right? It's all in your presentation.
That's right.
But I also think, Dave, too, it's also in the attitude that Mary has. You know what? I mean, it's something that's happened on the show over and over, and I'm almost used to it now. But these people that really care about their client and see their value are the people that are truly successful long term. I just think it's a common theme, Dave. We just see on the show over and over. The people that really have a passion for this industry, the people that want to see that all boats get raised sort of a thing, and for that to shine more now than before, or maybe we're just able to access people like Mary. But when she says, give me a call, Mary's busy. She says, give me a call, and if she can help someone else that helps the industry, it makes her, it's just great to see that sort of an attitude. Mary, we've talked about the first thing that you're going to hire is an assistant. You're going to get that down. Now, Melanie asked, and Melanie and I chatted about building a team the other day when we were out here at the Richard Robbins conference, but what's next? Buyer's assistant, how would you go about building the team? Another assistant, then you're just doing more contract? Like, how do you put the pieces? What would the first 3 or 4 pieces of a team over, you know, a 1.5 to 2 year period look like?
Well, the first thing you do, I hear a lot of agents that go, I'm going to hire buyer agents so I bring more business. I'm going to hire another agent so I bring... No. The first thing you do is you hire an admin person to help you. Then when you're really busy that you can't keep up the work, you hire by, actually, if you're selling more than 20, 30 homes a year, you should have a buyer agent. And that buyer agent is going to help you with the showings, showing the homes. Train that agent to be a listing agent as well. So when you need a backup and you want to go on vacation or you want to go away for the day, that person can jump in and do all your appointments and stuff like that. When that buyer agent has already 30 transactions, 40, then you hire another agent, and you should go on and on. And when you have, like, if you're doing really, really well, then you should hire someone, like we have new agents that are working in the team. There's 3 of them, so they help a lot, like with our home inspections, open houses, like they do that kind of stuff. So what I do is if they do an open house and they helped in the sale or I got an offer because of the open house, I gave them like $250 for doing the open house. Like, you know, give something to receive something back, because then they enjoy doing the open house, and when a client comes in, they really want to learn about the house before they go do the open house. They say, okay, Mary, what are the features in this house? What can I sell? So, we sell the house. They also have an interest, right? Like, it's one common goal in your team. But that's how I would do it. I wouldn't just go hire a whole bunch of agents, because then it's too much work for you as a team leader, because you got to train them. And if they're out there making mistakes or they're not working the way you are, it's just going to create more headaches, more fires to put out.
And it's going to affect your brand, I imagine, because the Mary Roy team's on the label somewhere. So it sounds to me, Mary, that actually the most intimidating and scariest part about building a team is hiring that first admin. And then after then, it's you're only hiring when there's business that needs to be taken care of, and you know that adding that extra agent is going to pay off. It sounds like the admin is the barrier to building a team.
And if you build a team slow that way, you're growing gradually, and everybody's being trained properly, and you're all going to work together a lot more. It's going to be way better. Trust me.
Okay. On that note, how do you then decide the structure of your team, Mary? I know that Dave's very much, you know, he's got two buyers agents, and they're kind of responsible in some part for generating new leads and generating business. There's some teams that I've spoken to, I think the Speicher group is one this way. They've got such a machine that they're building these leads in, that then they're taking those leads and then farming those out to their buyers agents to take care of the overstock of leads. So where's your team, or where's the advice is, are you creating the lead and passing those on to the agent, or are they also responsible for cultivating some of their own sphere and building their business, and that helps the overall Mary Roy team?
Well, the way we have ours done is you're on duty. So if you're on duty, a lead comes in. I have a full-time Ornella. She's my daughter. She's in the office, and she's basically the one that takes care of all our leads, so all the email leads, any leads that come in. So she'll qualify them, and then the agent that's on duty, it goes to that agent. If Ornella is out or she's not she's busy. I will talk, if I'm in the office, I'll talk to the lead, qualify them, and then I tell them. I get a page every morning that tells me who's on duty. So today it's Colton that's on duty. So we had a lead that came in. I answered the phone. I talked to them, and I said, yes, okay, let's set an appointment with you. And I always ask if they're working with another agent. A lot of times they tell you they are, but qualify them a little bit further, so that way you know that they're not just telling you so you don't call them, bug them, whatever. But we give out the leads to our buyers. And then Ornella's job is we track everything we do. So if Ornella gave out 5 leads today, when we have our team meetings once a week, we have a list of all the leads that went out for the week. And then I'll ask, okay, Ashley, you got 3 leads this week. How did it go? And she'll say, 1, I'm listing a house. 1, I don't know what they're really doing. And the other one, for sure, they're going to buy a home. Great. What do you want us to do for you? She'll say, I need, to make sure that we send out letters to stay on top with comparables. So then Ornella takes charge of that, and she makes sure we do that. Then she does the calling, the following up, if that's what Ashley wants. If Ashley says, I'm going to be doing the follow-up, then Ashley does the follow-up, and she takes it on, and she does everything, and we don't need to worry about it. Ornella just monitors and checks on top producer. We use top producer, so every time it's a must in our team. If you go in there, you talk to someone, you have to put in the notes, like what you talked about when you went in there. Because if you don't, and that person calls in, and you have not touched base with them for a year or 6 months, sorry, the next person that's in line, that's going to do the job right, that's the next person that's going to get that lead. And if you work it that way, then you hold your team accountable. They don't want to lose leads. So, and then we have our 2 full-time admin girls. One is the deal girl. One is the one that does the listing, processes the listing, the photos, all that stuff, does the write-up, and she's in charge of making the appointments, getting feedback, calling our sellers, doing the feedback, does all the inputs all the information, leads that came in, all that stuff, who was given to, and then throws it to Ornella. If any issues come with the deal, she gives it to Lindsay. Lindsay is in charge of our social media, marketing, advertising, and the deal processing, and making sure that she inputs, like we have checklists for everything. When you do a deal, you got to input in there their anniversary date. I have to call them 2 weeks before closing, and then I call them a week before closing, 2 days before closing. And if I'm busy and I can't, then Lindsay does. She goes, how's everything going? Are you all ready? Did you go to the lawyer? And then after closing, the week after, a letter goes out to say, congratulations, thank you so much. And then 2 weeks later, I call, make sure they're settled, everything is good. So she sets all that up.
And it seems like it comes down to a lot of it is systems. Whether you're a solo agent, Dave, we talked about this too, systems in place that when you do add another team member, this is the way we do it on the Mary Roy team, or this is the way the Enviro Realty team works, and here's the system, almost franchisable, I guess, at some point.
Yeah, you have to create a system that works for you, right? Everybody's different. I'm a systems person. I guess I'm green in a way too, even though I'm an orange. But I have a lot of green in me, that I'm very picky, and I like things to be followed and all that stuff. So.
Excellent. Dave, we're already at an hour. I know that you went down there and did the training there. Is there anything else you really want to add in about teams that?
No, nothing other than you can give. Sort of my takeaway is that if there's agents out there, I mean, we just sort of laid the groundwork and the blueprint here for what you need to do if you're a new agent, and you start to do a few transactions. Mary gave you the advice, and if you're really serious about what you do, hire yourself an assistant, even if it's for a couple hours a week. When your business grows, you just keep increasing their hours, and then you're going to go on to your buyer agent once you have enough transactions. Because remember this, if you're thinking of doing this, the pain of regret, I've said this before, is far worse than the pain of discipline. And as you get further into your career, if you thought about doing something like this to build a team which can change your life, and Mary will tell you that financially, right, Mary? Then if you don't do it now and you get to the end and you regret it, it's painful. So, and it's about systems and hard work. There's no fooling here. This is hard work, but there's so many resources and people out here that'll help you do it. And Mary just helped us put it along the way.
Mary, I want to just leave with one last. Sorry, Mary, go ahead.
I just wanted to say thank you so much, and I hope I inspired and left some good ideas with everyone out there.
I'm sure you did. I know you did, but I don't want to let you off the hook that easy. I want to ask you one more question. You talked about at the beginning of the show the fact that your team is a lot like a family. I know that the importance of culture in a group of people is so important. I have such a deep love, real love for Trish and Jorda on our team. They're like family to me. What is the importance of protecting that culture, nurturing that culture? And on that note, you said originally you had a team of 19 and you're down to 8 or whatever it is. That size and that shift, is it always in the overall protection of the culture of the group? And just touch on that, and then we'll let you go, Mary.
Culture is number one. We have a corporate charter that we read every Thursday morning because that's what holds our grounded and to our values and beliefs. And that corporate charter is all about our team and how we do things, why we do it for our clients, that kind of thing. There are so many different types of teams. Like that, I like a smaller team because I'm getting older, and I look at my team. They're my retirement plan. They're all young. I'm training them really well, and hopefully they're going to be great at what they do, and I can take a little bit of time to enjoy life a little bit more because I have not been great at that. I've been a workaholic, and it's like a disease. So that's why I want a small team, family. Everybody has, and my gift to them is I'm giving them a great future for the 27 years that I've worked to build my foundation, right? If you have two people in your team, 3 people, whatever it is, yes, you have to be their mentor. You have to be their inspiration as a leader. Whether you're a broker owner, you're a team leader, it doesn't matter what role you play. That's who you are, because that's what makes them want to come to work every morning. That's what makes them want to take all the rejections that they get every day, when they're calling or door knocking. I don't know, yes, culture, number one, beliefs, values, one common goal. I could go on and on. I'm so passionate for what I do. I love helping people. That's what I love about my job.
And that's evident.
Yeah, for those of you that Mary said now a couple of times, small team. She has a small team, but when I went to the seminar when I first met her, we're not going to go into it here, but don't be fooled. She has a small team that generates some astronomical numbers for her bottom line, and don't think because it's small you can't do it. She's a testament to that. It's just unbelievable, and Mary will tell you, it changes your life.
The thing, my takeaway, Mary, for you is your passion, your willingness to help others. There's people like you in our industry that we're so fortunate to have. The people that are an example for others to mentor, your willingness to help people that aren't on your team, and the passion for the industry at large. Dave and I feel the same way about our industry, and there's so many amazing people in here. And Dave said it before. We have an obligation to our clients, and they need us, and to provide great service and to help them through a really amazing, sometimes very stressful part of their lives. It's people like you that increase our profession and industry. Mary and I thank you very much. Mary, how do people get a hold of Mary Roy team and find more information? Call you and get through your gatekeepers at your office to ask you a question or to send you referrals. How do agents get a hold of you?
Well, if you want to get a hold of me, the email at maryroy. Hold on a second here. maryroy@maryroyteam.com. If you want to get a hold of me, where they're not going to answer your email and do their thing, you send it to Mary_Roy@bellnet.ca. I get that email, they don't. So they can't tell you, oh yeah, here it is, and I didn't even see it because they'll delete it because they know I give everything and I want to help everybody. And our number is 1-888-627-9769. And when you call in, just say I was on the seminar or the TV show. Well, I'm sorry, I can't remember. Mobile Agent TV show. And I'd like to talk to Mary, and I'm going to tell them they have to give me those calls.
Wow, thank you so much. And it's MaryRoy.com, no, MaryRoyTeam.com, and at MaryRoy. Sorry, Mary, go ahead.
It's MaryRoyTeam.com is our website. MaryRoy at MaryRoyTeam.com is our email.
And I'm guessing if you tweet at MaryRoyTeam, you're probably chatting with Lindsay based on what you said about the team. So if you want to chat with Lindsay, go ahead and tweet at MaryRoyTeam. Dave, you already talked about the takeaways. Awesome. I think we're good. Next week's show, 2 shows next week. Live show from the ARIA conference, and we're hoping at a cocktail party. We're going to get the final word here in the next hour or so. We'll have Raj Kazar will be there live with me. We'll have Terry Conrad, Tony Joe will be there. We'll grab a couple other people that are going to be on stage. It's going to be a fantastic conference, and we want to have the ability to share that stuff with you. So that's going to be Tuesday, June 17th, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern at mobileagenttv.com, as well as next Friday. Our guest is Nathan Dart. If you haven't heard Nathan Dart speak before, he's got an amazing story. He's built an incredible team. He converts internet leads at 22%, and he'll show you his stats. It's amazing, but when you find out how he does it, it's not rocket science. It's hard work, and he's going to tell you how he does it. So Nathan Dart is going to be on our show June 20th, 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern. If you have any referrals heading out to the East Coast of the United States, get a hold of Dave. He'll get you in the hands of the right RE/MAX agent. Any referrals coming out the West Coast of Canada, get a hold of me, and I'll get you in the hands of the right RE/MAX agent. And as Melanie Gelly of RE/MAX Fort McMurray wants us to end every show, please tell 5 other agents about Mobile Agent TV, and allows us to grow every week and reach out to amazing, giving, great people like Mary Roy that will come on the show and give us an hour of their time. We appreciate it so much. We'll see you all next week. 2 shows, Tuesday at 6 o'clock, and then Pacific, and then on Friday again. So it'll be great, and thank you so much for everyone watching. Thanks, Mary. I appreciate it very, very much. Dynamite information. People are going to love this episode. And Dave called it not sexy. I think it was a very sexy show. Dave.
No. I talk about the budgeting's not sexy. Quite frankly, I think it's a very sexy moment.
Oh, I didn't mean... Easy. Okay, here we go now. Thanks, Mary. Thanks. I'm going to end this right now before it gets it. Thanks, Mary. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you all next week.
I just wanted to say, Nathan,